My name is Wayne Snyder. I'm 53 years old. I am gay. I am single. I live in Aurora, Colorado, and I also happen to be disabled. Back in May of last year, I had developed an infection in my right leg, which had to be amputated. This was complications from diabetes. After I came out of the hospital, I had to go to rehabilitation and then go through the process of getting a prosthetic leg. I went back to work full time, but I had to work from home after a protracted period of time to get company approval to do so. I returned to work in later part of June and worked from home at that point in time. Unfortunately, while I was working, my immediate bosses um, proceeded to basically make my life a living hell, causing me to get extremely stressed out. They had been critical of my work performance prior to that point in time. I would call it nitpicking. Of course, I'm sure they would use another word, that I wasn't meeting the standardized performance requirements of my job, which I find, probably ludicrous at best. Since talking to my coworkers, I was not being actually held to the same standards that they were. But I'm not going to go into all the gory details. When I came out of the hospital, my blood pressure was normal. Over the course of several months while I was working from home, seemed to be in almost every other day or every couple days a conference call with my immediate supervisor, who was critiquing my job performance to the point of time that was causing me an incredible amount of stress. My doctor diagnosed hypertension with high blood pressure in late November, at which point in time, compounded with my disability, I went on to short-term disability and started that process in December of 2016. Between 2000 December and up into January, I'm still waiting for my short-term disability to be approved by Cigna. I had no income. I had no money to fall back on. Literally all the cash I had been used up. I didn't really have a holiday to speak of. Had to forego Christmas for lack of money. And in mid-January, on Friday the 13th, coincidentally, after my rent check bounced, I got so depressed and so despondent that I took a bottle of sleeping pills and tried to kill myself. After my cat guilted me into realizing that was probably a really stupid idea, I called the Colorado Suicide Prevention Line, which then sent police and paramedics to my residence, the condo that I rent, and they took me to the hospital and then transferred me for an M1 72-hour psychiatric hold at a psychiatric hospital. While I was at the hospital, I had called and left notification with Cigna and also my HR team that I was going to be out of communications for several days because of my attempted suicide. That later that day, we'll call it a coincidence. I can't say anything other than that it seemed coincidental that after I placed the calls that my short-term disability was therefore approved. And I was assured that I was going to get all of my back pay in the following payroll cycle. Well, once I was actually in the hospital and I felt much better because my financial situation really was looking up. I was looking at several weeks of back pay so I could basically, pay my past due rent. I did find out that my very good friend, Kevin, had actually taken care of my rent for me for that month. So very appreciative, bud. I can't tell you how much that actually means to me. Coming out of the rehabilitation hospital, I had developed an infection on my leg because I had to wear my prosthetic almost continuously while I was at the psychiatric ward because they didn't really have a wheelchair, which caused a blister on my leg, which subsequently got a staph infection, and that actually progressively got worse into the bone in my amputated leg. After I got out of the psychiatric hold and realizing that the money situation had improved somewhat, but with only a 60% paycheck of what I was normally getting or for short-term disability, my job was protected, but unfortunately my income was not. I started a GoFundMe page. I figured $3,500 would be just enough to basically take some of the pressure off. I discontinued a lot of my subscriptions. I dialed back on my expenses. I, kind of did everything, cut myself to the bone, so to speak, metaphorically, in regards to my money so that I could probably extend not only the short term disability, but hopefully raising some money through the GoFundMe page. After reaching out to family and friends through Facebook and phone calls, I raised only about $980 out of the $3,500 that I was needing. But not to look a gift horse in the mouth, that actually did help out. And I did have some of my friends step up, even ones that I hadn't spoken to recently, some coworkers that I hadn't seen for a while. They knew the type of person that I was, and they stepped up to the plate. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to make ends meet over the long haul. At that point in time, I had the infection. I didn't know how severe it was. I had to go through a process of several tests to diagnose bone biopsy, which is a minor surgery, where they then determined that I had the bacterial infection. After the bone biopsy was done, I had to wait for that to heal. I couldn't wear my leg. I was inhibited from being able to actually wear my prosthetic. And then once I could start wearing it, it no longer fit properly, so I had to basically start the process all over again with a new prosthetic leg. So yeah, a very rough couple of months. Unfortunately, during that time frame, I did not get the help and support that I really needed. I was kind of counting on friends and family to help me out. Some did, most weren't able to. Legitimately, many had their own lives, their own families to take care of. But for me, it was disappointing to say the least, because I was really hoping to get some more support than I was actually receiving. Some of my coworkers had stepped up on the GoFundMe page. Some of them had stepped up getting me a subscription for one of those home delivery food services while I was actually working. That would run through the latter part of 2016. But here I am into 2017 and really kind of needing a little bit more help than I was actually getting. And it was, very, very disappointing. Frustration upon frustration. I read the stories, for example, about this kid who wanted to get, free chicken nuggets from one of these restaurant chains. I can't remember which one it exactly was, but he sets up a GoFundMe page to raise $66,000 to buy a retweeting service so he can get like 18 million retweets, and it becomes a viral sensation. He gets on Ellen, all kinds of other promotions you read on social media about this, which is absolutely ludicrous when there's people like myself and other people reaching out for help and we can't even get it. I even sent an email to the Ellen DeGeneres Show to express my shock and disappointment that something like that becomes newsworthy, where other people who are in real need are basically ignored. So it's very, very frustrating. Here I am now at this point in time that my short-term disability expired at the end of May. I automatically am enrolled in the process for application for long-term disability, which also requires to go into short-term disability. So I'm actually going through those processes. I've also had to start the process of applying through the state of Colorado, through their PEAK program, to get some financial, medical, and food stamps to assist me, because again, I just don't have any money coming in. My short-term disability ended at the end of May. I have no foreseeable income for the near future until all these processes are complete. And unfortunately, at this point in time, at the end, from the beginning of this month up until the 16th, tomorrow, my job is protected under FMLA, but that will be the last of the available FMLA time that I have. So after tomorrow, I no longer have any job protection. And it's very apparent from the emails and the conversations I've been having with my HR team at work that my job will most likely be terminated. So I will lose my job, I will lose all my benefits, and I won't even be able to afford supplemental insurance like COBRA or what have you, because I have no income until short-term disability gets processed, or long-term disability gets processed and approved. I posted on Facebook today to reach out to family to tell them how desperate I am, and at this point in time, I've only heard back from one coworker who's very sympathetic with my situation. but she's got her own life, which is completely understandable. We only worked together for a short period of time, um, but for the most part, I'm just not getting the support, or as they say, feeling the love. It's also disappointing because I basically started this YouTube channel, the 401 Gay, several weeks ago, and only posted recently within the past 2 weeks. I did basically watch a lot of the YouTube videos with other YouTube users out there. I started an Instagram. Like I said, I've had Facebook for a while. Um, quite honestly, the gay community is very frustrating, quite honestly. I'm a gay man. I'm an older gay man, and I'm a disabled gay man. Trying to find somebody to go out on a date, to meet, um, just to have some fun with. Apparently, the minute you trade pictures or talk truthfully about your statistics and the fact that you are a disabled person, you are immediately ghosted. They want nothing to do with you. Even some of the people on YouTube that I have come to admire because of the quality of the videos they've been putting up and the content of the videos they're putting up, talking about their life experiences and um, their dating, their marriage, their engagements, talking about single life and first experiences. So many of them, purport the concept of equality amongst gay people, that we shouldn't discriminate based upon age or income or color of skin, or social status or what have you. But apparently that only works for the guys too that are young and good looking, because us older guys, even on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, are basically ignored. I've reached out to several, try to make friendships, try to communicate with them, try to, just kind of relay my stories, and completely get ignored. Like they want nothing to do with me because, I don't apparently meet their standards. I know a bunch of you guys are going to look at this and say, well, he just has sour grapes. He's just a bitter old man. Well, you become a bitter old man for a reason. Experience. My life sucks at this point in time. Can't blame it on everybody else. I've made some poor decisions. But, I've tried to be the best person that I possibly can. I've tried to give support where I can. I've tried to basically be a friend where I can. And I just don't feel that being reciprocated back. And it's very, very disappointing. So, guys, quite honestly, going through life, you're all going to come across that point in time where you may be depressed, you may be feeling frustrated, but try to imagine that as an older man, as a disabled man, as a man who's got no income, have very few friends that they can turn to. The friends that they have supported, you can't keep asking them or expecting them to, help you out continuously. I want to basically get up on my own feet. But when I ask for help, it's almost like impossible to get a ride, almost impossible to get any type of support. I get a lot of thumbs up tweets and stuff like that, which are great, except they really don't, help me out in the long run. So life can be a disappointment. This is as real as it gets. I can't tell you that this video is going to have a happy ending. I don't know. This is not a video for me as a testament, and like I'm going to go off and do something stupid like I tried in January. No, that is not. The reality is that life can be pretty bad sometimes, can be pretty harsh, and it's not going to be all rainbows and unicorns. Sometimes the reality is that life just basically sucks, and there's nothing that you can do about it, as much as you want to try, as much as you hope, as much as you pray. As much as you want to make friends, as much as you want to meet people, as much as you want to actually grow to be a better person, circumstances, environment, whatever you want to call it, or combinations of society, just don't allow it to happen, and you end up like me. So I apologize if you think this is a video just about a bitter old man, but it is, because I just really have lost all hope and just nowhere to turn, so I have to vent. So I hope you all guys have a good time in your life. Ciao.